Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching and listening to a very special edition of Sipping Off the Cuff. I'm your host, Mike Morales, on all of your channels and networks. I'm here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Jim Johnston in Youngstown, Ohio.
Jim. And Jim has been a stranger from Sipping Off the Cuff. You
Been
may
a
have,
while since we've done one. Yes.
yes, yeah, but you haven't lost your touch. You've
Well,
you
thank you.
you've hit
I
on
mean,
every.
I'm practicing off camera quite a bit, so it's not like I stopped.
Yeah, did you go? What did you want to? Did you go off on the wagon or something?
Yeah, no, it's not like I'm still doing it, as a hobby.
Yeah, yeah, he's sipping off the camera. That that's
Right,
that's for
right,
the other show, sipping off the camera.
right.
Nobody sees that.
No cameras are allowed.
No cameras are allowed. If there are, oh well. Um, Folks, if you have been watching us all this whole series, we've been dissecting Hacienda Navarro tequila. I'm just shining my light off of it, so I'm trying not to shine the light on it. Uh, I gotta say, this is the one that really stopped me in my tracks. As you can see, in Jim's case, he stopped them in their tracks before they
Yeah,
got.
so I kept this bottle. Now you'll notice, and if you watch these in order, the Blanco only had so much left because I had to stop the margarita people from mixing more. The Repo a little bit more, the Anejo, and then this one, you get to the ones where they tasted it and probably said this isn't good in a cocktail. To which I responded, it's not something you should have been drinking anyway, but whatever.
In this case, I probably in my stupor in 2023, which that's what it was for me. I said, "Oh, I need to stop now." So, so we're gonna pour this. I'm using a Glencairn for this one. They call this the Hacienda Navarro. It's a Añejo, but they're calling it a Reserva Especial. I'm not sure why they're calling it that. But we'll find out. But I'm gonna pour mine in my Glencairn that I normally use for extra añejos. And beautiful. Oh my God, the color on this is gorgeous.
I'm already going to say something weird, but I
Okay,
don't know how to explain it
go for
other
it.
than a childhood memory smell.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Well,
ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Raisinets,
A little chocolate
cocoa and dried fruit. Smells like, now it doesn't smell
in,
like.
in a Saturday matinee.
Right, right. Let's all go watch Dune.
Oh shit. 3 hours,
Don't get the popcorn with the wormhole thing. Get the
three three
Raisinets.
hours of Dune.
Yeah, 3 hours of putting your hand through that damn worm popcorn thing. No, this has.
Wow, that's really deep.
It really is. And Raisinets probably smell like chemical chocolate, but to my memory and to my nostalgia for going to a movie and having a bag of candy, and I love Raisinets, or even chocolate covered peanuts, you got the cocoa first, and then you got what was inside of it as the secondary smell. You could tell there were raisins in Raisinets. You could tell there were peanuts in chocolate covered peanuts. This has got a little bit of cocoa and then some dried fruit sweetness right below it.
Well, the legs and tears are gorgeous. I mean, it just consistent all the way along, all the four expressions. It's just wow, nice. And the color's deeper, much deeper than the Repo and the Añejo.
Yeah, it is.
But I got um well, I think on my first nosing, it was the depth is what I'm
Yeah.
and it hasn't opened up for me like probably like it will because
All of the aroma, all of the aromas of the last three expressions are in here in some form, and they've kind of been baked and cooked in a little bit, where you've got that overall subtle spice and that cocoa and that citrus is now really a baked, almost a dried fruit instead of the citrus that we got on the Blanco and the Repo.
Yes, but you're right. I would go dried raisins. Uh, uh, I don't know if I want to go prunes, but I would go plums or dried cherries. It's not as sweet as a cherry though. I'm not getting
No, it's
it. It's raisins. It's
yeah,
raisins.
it's raisins. It's raisinets. This is adult raisinets.
Well, again, and I tell this when I do tequila tastings, I take the audience through a couple of eye exercises that because this is how your brain accesses information. The closest the closest sense linked to memory is smell. And
Yeah,
that's why you're getting that it always evokes smell will always evoke a memory, and that's because they're closely linked. That's how your brain accesses that information. And so if you understand that, then that's what I try and impart to the audience when I take them through a tequila tasting. I make them go through some eye exercises because what I want them to do is to imprint into their olfactory memory, their data bank, what it is that they're smelling and tasting, and create a memory so that links together what they're getting. Because some of these folks will never see a tequila distillery. Some of them they'll never taste, baked agave fresh out of the oven. It's just not going to happen. So, or maybe they've never had that experience, but you try to, as an instructor, that's what you try to do with when I do a tasting. I don't know about anybody else. I don't care. But so it doesn't surprise me that Jim got this, crazy memory, because that's how it works. And that's a
well,
valid
yeah. I
distinction. I
smelled I
get it.
smelled a little bit of a hint of cocoa and raisins, and I thought raisinets. But I'm also getting a little bit of whereas the last couple have been baked spice. There's a little bit more fresh spice to this. That's more time in the barrel. That's just a little bit more of a woody note. Get a little bit of like dried hay or
Like it spent time in a Scotch barrel almost.
it's got a little bit
Almost.
of an earthy quality.
I think the it's just not opening up for me like I want it to. There's depth in there, and that's what I discovered on all of these so far, from the Repo onward, is that it reveals itself to me very slowly, like in layers. It doesn't just come up to you and tell you this is who I am. It lets
Yeah.
you
And
you really have to linger with it.
after my first couple sips is when that you go back and the aroma has started to open up to what your palate has had.
Yep. There's still a little hint of that burnt orange. And I,
Yeah.
I like that. I dig that burnt orange. I dig it. That is just so cool.
It replaces the alcohol from the Blanco, and the Repo is the oil almost like I don't want to say it stings your nostrils, but it hits them in a different way, like an ethanol would. But it's that
Yeah,
citric acid kind of.
that is really
All right,
lovely and unusual. You want to dive in?
let's sip this.
Let's just do it. Here we go.
Wow.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Oh my God. Wow.
All the way down.
I didn't
You
swallow.
didn't, yeah, you didn't. It's
No, but I
all
let
the
it
way
linger
down.
on my palate. I got all kinds of cocoa, dried cocoa. I
Yep.
got I got some of that burnt orange. It lingered together. Um, you called it creme
Dried.
brulee, but it's like tiramisu.
Yeah.
It's like tiramisu. That's what it reminded me of.
There's
It-
cocoa. There's dried fruit, more like a raisin.
yeah,
There's the burnt orange. There's the vibrant citrus that comes through because of that time with the barrel that's brought that citrus back. The sweetness is there, but it's baked. It's caramel. It's coffee. It's not brightly sweet. It's cooked sweet.
I would even go coffee. I think that in the rear,
Yeah.
on the rear, on the back end of the palate, you get a little bit of just a hint of bitterness, and it's more like a chocolate bitterness, but it's like like black coffee, almost. I mean, it's almost it's just a hair under that.
This has got a dried fruit brandy characteristic, almost like Metaxa, like that Greek brandy, the raisin brandy, or like a really good cognac that
What are
picks
you
up the
talking about?
barrel.
I've never had any of that stuff. I
You've
don't
never
know.
had Metaxa?
I've had ouzo. I've never had.
Oh no, 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 this is
I've
totally
even
different.
had in Israel we had karak, which is basically ouzo.
Raki. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
No, no, this is a raisin brandy. It's got a lot of depth to it, but that dried fruit has sweetness attached to it, and it's that dark caramel sweetness that makes it almost it just it's so there's a lot of flavor and none of it changes throughout. It was there the entire time. The front of my palate, the back of my palate, I'm still getting hints of everything that are in this.
This is really a beautiful after dinner. You know what? This really defines for me, this line defines for me what it is to serve an aperitif at the beginning of dinner and then a digestif at the end of dinner. And I'm not even talking, you could pair this with like a nice espresso or a cappuccino at night, maybe a cigar, but this is your nightcap. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the end of dinner. It's the end of dinner. You're finished. You're done. Get out of here. You know,
I would be curious, and I might have to test this theory.
if you have any left.
Well, this one I have enough to test the theory. That tiramisu, that coffee cocoa creaminess of that dessert, instead of rum or marsala or anything like that, soak the lady fingers in this.
Oh,
See what that part tastes like in a tiramisu with this kind of Grand Marnier, dried raisin, deep caramel, coffee kind of flavoring to it.
this is almost like a flambeau.
Tequila tiramisu,
Tequila tiramisu.
test kitchen.
Ah, well, you better film it or it never happened.
Well, all right. It's been a while since I made some tiramisu, but it might be worthwhile to break it out for this.
You know it's my favorite. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to let you in on some personal information. My last wedding cake was a homemade tiramisu, beautifully done. It's one of the best tiramisus I'd ever had from this particular gentleman who was doing catering. And so that's going to be my my memory of the tiramisu, the last wedding. A
We took you back a little too far, but that's
little
all
too
right.
far, but then, no, but
Raisinets are that's a long time for me
you know
too.
what? That was a happy day. I'm not gonna, it's not like I
I
had.
associate Raisinets with seeing The Lion King for the first time. I
Oh, there
was
you go.
8.
Wow, check you out. Look at that. What a young man.
But this has got all of that kind of dessert quality of tiramisu, where that sweetness is muted a little bit by that rich caramel of the rum liquor in the lady fingers. It's got some coffee, it's got some cocoa, it's got a little bit of creaminess. It takes all the edge off. And if you do it right, it should balance perfectly. And this has got a nice long finish afterwards. This is really
It's
put
exquisite.
this in a snifter, sip it slowly.
I bet you could heat this up like a brandy.
No, I know plenty. I've got a few friends that they take a glass of Grand Marnier and they microwave it for about 25 seconds. Just warm it up. Just get it warm so that that warm orange kind of
That's
they
not
love it in the
romantic.
wintertime.
Don't they have one of the little brandy snifter holders where you can light a candle underneath it, just kind of, and the candle warms it up
Well,
a little?
they have those, but they have kids too. So it's
Oh,
microwave
that's
Grand
true.
Marnier,
Yeah.
go watch your show for an hour and you're done. But they like the fact that that heat kind of brings out that citrus and it brings out that orange and it gives that orange a warmth. And that's where all of that citrus sweetness we've been talking about, it's culminated in this one as a warm baked citrus with deep caramelized sugar and very nice. And we've never lost that little bit of agave. even though it's become baked, it's
Mhm.
always there. It's always there.
Mm. Mm.
That is really nice.
Wow. And it really nice finish too. You're right. Nice warm fuzzy. And it's still, you know what? It still reacts like the Blanco did. A lot of the sweetness to the rear of the palate instead of at the
Right,
front.
right, and there's still just a hint of that pepper at the end, but it comes out with the sweetness so that it's almost like it's cinnamon sugar where the cinnamon's got a little bit of bite on it,
Yeah.
and it's right at the back, and then
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
that nice long finish.
It's kind of I wouldn't call it red hots, but it's been activated for sure. Um, Here we go. Brand of Promise nominee. That's the
Oh,
Añejo
this
Catador.
one, this one for sure
Yeah.
is
What a winner. Oh my God. I gotta contact those guys at Carrion because
yeah.
I contacted the previous importer for because he imported this one and another brand that he no longer is responsible for. But I'm going to reach out to these folks because this is exquisite. This is
And
really
probably
again,
need another bottle just to make sure.
well, if you're
Just to
going to
make
use
sure.
if you're going to use, if you're going to use yours for tiramisu, you're going to have to save me a piece because we're scheduled to go out to Ohio in June.
When you come to Ohio, that's what we'll have
Good, because
as dessert.
I have a bottle I need to send you, and I think I finally got a box that I can send it in. And you are not to touch that bottle until you, me, and Alex and everybody else involved
Well,
together.
so we're gonna have to put a sign on it because obviously I'm not always the problem here, but
Well, you're going to need to hide
we'll
it.
uh
That needs to go in the safe.
we'll hide it, and this is gonna get hot,
Yeah, for
hid as well.
sure.
But that's enough for me to make some tiramisu and still have about
What I
that
have
much
left,
left.
yeah, it's because that's what I have left on mine. I'm just going to
We'll be all right.
I'm going to put these all in a box and put them away because I think like I said, the last time you and I had something of this quality was Carrera. And that's an old school Camarena tequila that's just now making the rounds. You're starting to see it. All the influencers are getting it, but we had it first and it was lovely. And as many times as I possibly can, I try to throw Jim not only stuff that's mainstream that's available in Ohio, but stuff that's not available in Ohio, because hopefully we'll, in the future you'll hear about it if we have any say on whether we can change the archaic liquor laws in the great state of Ohio. But anyway, whatever. That's our take on Hacienda Navarro.
Yeah.
Oh, let me quickly give you an MSRP. If you do find it, first of all, it's
Sold out online. This one in particular is sold out
yeah,
online.
it's Reserva Especial is supposedly sorry out of stock. It's 89.99. And you know what, Jim? For some of the pricing that I've seen lately, 89 is doable and it's worth every penny. And in fact, I would say that it's undervalued. I think this
I
whole
would say too, because this is approaching like an extra anejo, but this is a
oh,
this
you
could
know
eat. I
what?
mean, it's probably
Let me
that's a nice price point for the quality of tequila that you're
yeah.
getting here. But if you told me that this was $120 bottle, I would not bat an eye at that.
No,
I
not
don't.
at all. Me neither. It says American oak barrels for 3.5 years.
Ooh, it's almost an extra anejo.
Yeah, it's almost an extra nail. Well, no, wait, 3.5 years. They're calling it a reserva, but technically speaking, anything over 3 years, 3 years and over could be considered an extra añejo, but they're not labeling it that. They're still labeling it that as a Reserva Especial. And had they changed it to an extra añejo, I I, I they could
I
have
don't
had.
care what you call it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care
It's
either.
good.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, they're doing themselves a disservice by calling it a reserva instead of just going straight out extra añejo and not telling anybody, but they're being transparent,
Right.
which, and as far as pricing goes, add another, I easily add another 20 bucks, a hundy. 100
Oh
bucks.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and not bad, like you said, not bad an eye, because the
Yeah.
quality of this stuff is there.
Really good.
It's outstanding. Brand
Really good.
nominee. Uh, Congratulations to Hacienda Navarro and the guys at Carrion Enterprises. I'm gonna reach out to them. This is outstanding. Everybody needs to get this tequila. It needs to be more out there in the public. I think once it makes the splash that it's going to make, y'all are going to be coming back to this review, and you're going to see that Tequila Aficionado had it first.
That's
So
right.
that's it. That's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is.
Jim Johnston in Northeast Ohio.
You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, give us a like, share this review. Put it out there in the YouTube universe, the multiverse. If you've had it, let us know. Leave us a comment down below. Follow us on our Instagram. Follow us on all of our social media: Twitter, Facebook. What's the other one? Oh, Pinterest. We're still on Pinterest. I don't know what we're doing there, but we're still there.
Oh,
Yeah. And subscribe to the magazine, because we've got a lot of neat surprises coming for you in the rest of 2024. But then again,
absolutely.
thanks again, guys, for watching. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.